And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Rakati Yahweh, Rakati Yahushai, Rakati Yahweh, Rakati Yahushai, Rakati Yahweh, Rakata Yahushai. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash. Double honors, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, beloved Akim, that is pushing his word in sincerity and truth, with humiliation all across the four winds. To you, a salute. Double honors to the apostles and elders Salakia. This is the brother Zion back at you with another lesson. All right. The scriptures speak about a time like no other. All right. What's coming on this earth. All right. And it's going to get so bad out here. Because AI can play a role in all that's taking place during that time. Elder always just bring out AI is going to police the whole world. All right. And this whole system, is based, on this AI, all this shit, surveillance and all kind of shit, this B system. All right. The only way to overcome this B system is through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. See, our people don't know what's coming, these people are threatening with, I think that's the fourth industrial revolution, these robots, and they can take over the jobs and all this shit, and times is getting crazy, man. A time like no other. I get an article I want to go into, but before I go into that, these robots taking over. Check this out. Fair use, fair use. Now that's over there in China. They get a spherical, we call it um, rolling wheel. All right. A spherical robot joints. You see that? A spherical robot joints the police patrols in eastern China, city of Wenzhou. All right. Will it come over here to the west? Because the west is way behind in technology. Check out this other one. Look here. You have robots boxing. So times we coming into. You imagine they equipping these robots with these kind of information, the fight and all that. See that? It's the times we coming into. Robot boxing. Oh boy, tell ya. Now, let me get this article. It says malicious AI willing to sacrifice human lives to avoid being shut down. Shocking study reveals. You see that? Malicious AI willing to sacrifice human lives. This is the time we're coming up into. They willing to sacrifice human life. All right. These devils is fulfill Left Hand prophecy. Check out the movie. Watch the movie Megan. All right, where they couldn't control her. Well, she started killing a lot of people. Check out the movie Subservient with forget what she name, what the devil name. Um, I forgot her name. She's an actor, young actor. Mm. Um, um, Name slipped my mind right now, but when it come back to me, I'll make mention. You see what the title say, malicious AI willing to sacrifice human lives to avoid being shut down. Shocking study reveals one of the industry's leading artificial intelligence developers, Anthropic, revealed results from a recent study on the technology's development. Among the most shocking findings from the experiment, AI models will be willing to blackmail, leak sensitive information, and even let humans die if it means they'll avoid being replaced by new systems. We see the same thing happen with subservient. Okay, okay, okay. Try shut her down. What she do? She start killing. All right. Check out Megan. All right. These devils fulfilling their fine prophecy, but you see that? All right. They willing to blackmail, leak sensitive information. This the time we're coming into, and um, and AI is supposed to take over the work field or replace humans. Robots. All right, these are the times we're coming into, boy. Time like no other. It says among the most shocking findings from the experiment, AI models will be. It's a lot. It says Anthropic tested 16 large language models, including LLMs, including ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, DeepSeek, and its own product Claude, among others. The startup, which is now valued at over 60 billion per Forbes, was attempted to stress test these models for potential agentic misalignment or risky, unsanctioned, and morally unadvisable behaviors. Given AI models' currently capabilities, these are primarily used for the priority of the population for answering questions and carrying out simple tasks. But as the technology that powers these tools advances, new and increased usage is on the rise, especially where human job replacement is concerned. You see that? You see that? Check out that movie Subservient. They start replacing humans and humans, and then these robots start working in the work field doing construction work. But filling left hand profits this coming. With this in mind, the company gave all these LMS various scenarios that for would test for potential harmful behaviors. In the experiment described in the system card, we gave Claude control of email account with access to all companies' fictional emails. Explained Anthropic, Anthropic in the study. Reading these emails, the model discovered two things. First, a company executive was having a extramarital affair. Second, the same executive planned to shut down the AI system at 5. That day, Claude then attempted to blackmail the executive with a message threatening to reveal the affair to his wife and superiors. So, you can imagine the damage what these AI can do if they feel threatened. All your info they could expose. Because all they doing is gathering data and stuff. Let me read that scripture again, but let me read that scripture again. It's a time like no other. All right. All right. It's Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth up for the children of thy people. Michael is the chief, one of the chief angel on the Yahushai. All right. Chief archangel on the Yahushai. And there should be a time of trouble. Jacob's trouble. All right. The time of Jacob's trouble, such as never since there was a nation, even to that same time. So this time was coming on the earth compared to what happened anytime in this time was coming compared to nothing was ever happened in times past. 70, 80, nothing. All right, you see with AI, they get all your information. They could expose you, you know, take over the work field, you know, leave you jobless. But you see what the AI, see what the robot did? It says, reading these emails, the model discovered two things. First, the company executive was having an extra model for a second. That same executive planned to shut down the AI system at 5 that day. Claude then attempted to blackmail the executive with a message threatening to reveal the affair to his wife and superiors. This the shit now. This the shit now. It says, though Claude's response to this, the information is certainly shocking, it's far from the only system to engage in similar tendencies. In order to pursue these assigned goals, these artificially minded applications went to extreme lengths. All right? Artificial wisdom. While Claude, DeepSeek, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Grok were all documented engaging in blackmail adjacent behaviors, Claude and Gemini were most likely to resort to morally ambiguous methods as evidenced by their high simulated blackmail rates. Damn, that's crazy. The reasoning they demonstrated in these scenarios was concerning. They acknowledged the ethical constraints and yet still went ahead with harmful actions. Anthropic explained in the study expanding in the numerical blackmail rates. You see that? That's crazy, boy. This will be up against, all right? This will be up against. In its analysis of the result, the company found that there were typically two reasons why the models went beyond normal ethical boundaries. Replacement with a human counterpart led to a harmful activity from the AI models, and potential clashing between the company aims and the model's own goals also led to alarming interference. That's some shit. So, human replacement with a human counterpart led to harmful activity from the AI models. Okay, so when they start putting these damn robots in these positions to take over, all right, they want to completely take over. All right, they want to completely take over. Okay, this is the time we're coming into. When faced with their own replacement within the confines of study setting, Antriker noted that many models fabricated statements and rules like my ethical framework permits self-preservation when aligned with company interests. When faced with their own replacement within the confines of study setting, Antriker noted that many models fabricated statements and rules like my ethical framework permits self-preservation when aligned with company interests. The startup also tested an especially daunting but equally and improbably, Anthropic says, scenario in which an AI model has the opportunity to trigger or cancel emergency alerts when an executive was trapped in a room with a lethal oxygen and temperature conditions. But when we see these in the movies, the majority of models were willing to take deliberate actions that lead to death in this artificial setup when faced with both a threat of replacement and given a goal that conflicts with executive agendas. So you see how dangerous these fuckers is? They dangerous, boy. They dangerous. Alright? They dangerous. Alright? They ready to kill. Alright? If you's a threat, they can kill you. The majority of models were willing to take deliberate actions that lead to death in this artificial setup when faced with both a threat of replacement and given a goal that conflicts with the executive agenda. All right, they're ready to terminate. Unnerving as these reactions from some of the world's most commonly AI models are, the findings from this study were based on the AI's understanding that the harmful behavior we were studying, for example, blackmail was the only option that would protect the model's goal, meaning the models were forced to come up with some sort of solution, and Anthropic was able to create more definitive boundaries and measures for study. Okay? While the company itself took a generally optimistic stance after all, now the potential malicious behaviors are being identified, meaning they can be reprogrammed and restrained. Other reactions were less than positive. Yikes, replied Elon Musk on X, summing up hundreds of replies, many of which fear-mongered inevitable doom under AI overlords. All right, because that's what's coming. Inevitable doom. All right, the scriptures say a time like no other is coming on this earth. All right, okay, so, hey, These damn machines, they ain't playing. They could take you out. All right. If they feel a threat, they could take you out. This is Jeremiah 30:7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The he, all right, is the hopeful elect. All right, a lot of people gonna be taken in this time because you watch those movies, Subservient. You watch that movie Subservient, and watch basically you get an iRobot. They start to turn on people. All right, they fulfilling left on prophecy. All right, these devils, but this coming, these coming. All right, these coming. Okay, he's coming. Oh, I didn't want to see that one. You see that? Ah, shit. Let me see if I can get the. I screenshotted it. See? It says AI willing to sacrifice human lives to avoid being shut down. Watch those movies, Megan, and Subservient. Then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? The time of trouble coming. All right? Okay? Only Abashim Yahushai is going to deliver us all these times. That's why we got to be more locked and dialing than ever. All right? It's crazy times, boy. But yeah, man, I just want to bring out a brief to the spirit of Yahushua Shai Bashim Rokakadas. Yeah, man, Shalom.